This episode is brought to you by Hasa. Liquid is clearly better. Liquid chlorine is the highest purity, works immediately, has no added cyanuric acid or calcium, and it will leave your pool safe, clean, and clear. And by the bottom feeder professional grade battery powered vacuum system. It sucks to clean pools, so cleaning pools sucks less. Get $100 off with code DVB100.
This episode is brought to you by Skimmer, the #1 pool service software in North America. With Skimmer, you can streamline your schedule, grow your revenue, and keep your customers coming back with 5-star service. Whether you're a one-person operation or an established team, Skimmer is your partner in success. Visit getskimmer.com/poolguy to try Skimmer for free for 30 days.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.
Hi, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. I recently did a podcast on Cal Hypo, and I thought I would follow up with one strictly on liquid chlorine or sodium hypochlorite. And I'm going to go over the pros and cons of using liquid chlorine out on your pool route, or if you're a homeowner, using it as your primary sanitizer in your backyard pool. Are you a pool service pro looking to take your business to the next level? Join the Pool Guy Coaching Program. Get expert advice, business tips, exclusive content, and get direct support from me. I'm a 35-year veteran in the industry. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, I've got the tools to help you succeed. Learn more at swimmingpoollearning.com. Liquid chlorine or sodium hypochlorite, and this is well known as bleach as well, and it's interchangeable. When you talk about liquid chlorine, a lot of people don't really realize that it's the same as household bleach, of course unscented. And it's one of those things where it's basically the percentage that will signify if it's liquid chlorine for pool service use or household bleach for laundry use. I'll just explain that right here, that most of the pool service grade liquid chlorine is 10% or 12.5%, which is what Hasa uses in their liquid returnable. So 12.5% is pretty much the industry standard for liquid chlorine. It's the strongest concentration in a 1-gallon container or a 2.5-gallon container of chlorine. And it's what we would use, we'd consider commercial strength if you wanted to classify it compared to bleach. Bleach is anywhere from 5% to 8.25%. So if you're using a gallon of household bleach, you'd have to use 2 of them sometimes or more, but roughly 2 gallons of household bleach to equal 1 gallon of the 12.5% commercial grade liquid chlorine. So that's kind of a visual of the strength of the commercial grade liquid chlorine that we use versus the household bleach. Now, of course, the price of liquid chlorine varies by region. Florida is still going to be probably your least expensive area to get liquid chlorine, where California and Texas I think are on the high side as far as liquid chlorine. And in some areas you can't even get liquid chlorine, like on the Hawaiian Islands, you probably can't get that. So there are some reasons for this, and the production of liquid chlorine, of course, takes a factory basically to make the product. So you have to have the location for the distribution of it, because it does have a shorter shelf life, which I'll touch on a little later when I talk about the shelf life of the product. But just note that the strength of liquid chlorine is an important factor. If you go to Home Depot and you buy the liquid chlorine there, it's not going to be, and at least in my area, it's not the commercial strength of 12.5%. That would have to come from your wholesale supplier or from a pool store to get the Hasa returnables in my area. They're the main supplier of liquid chlorine on the West Coast. And that is where you would get that strength from, the 12.5%. And believe me, it is really important to get the right strength of liquid chlorine. Otherwise, you're wasting your money buying a weaker chemical, and it's not really cost effective unless you're using the commercial grade liquid chlorine, in my opinion. Liquid chlorine is also considered an unstabilized chlorine. What this means is that there is no cyanuric acid built into the product. And so there is nothing that's going to protect it from the sun's UV rays, and that's why the pool has to have a cyanuric acid level or conditioner level or a CYA level of a certain percentage for it to be effective. I shouldn't say percentage, I should say more or less a level of cyanuric acid. So we would require cyanuric acid at least 30 parts per million to about 80 parts per million for liquid chlorine to be protected in the pool when you pour it in there from the sun's UV rays. And it differs by region, and it's one of those things where if you're using unstabilized chlorine like Cal Hypo and liquid chlorine, you have to realize that it's really hard to maintain a pool strictly with liquid chlorine if you service it once a week, unless there's a chlorine feeder there at the stop, or if you're using a combination of trichlor tablets and liquid chlorine, that's perfectly fine. Liquid chlorine is not something that you can put in a gallon of it at the beginning of the week, and at the following week when you get back there, let's say you service a pool on a Tuesday, you pour in a gallon of liquid chlorine on Tuesday, and of course you raise the chlorine up to say 10 parts per million. But by the time you get back there on that following Tuesday, more than likely that chlorine level will be close to 2 parts per million or maybe less, because the liquid chlorine is not made as something that's going to stay in the pool all week long without redosing of the liquid chlorine, if that makes sense. Whereas trichlor tablets dissolve slowly in the pool, Cal Hypo tablets will dissolve slowly in the pool as well. There's nothing after you pour the liquid chlorine in the pool that keeps it in the pool long term, and it eventually will be used up from bather loads or anything in the pool that would use up the chlorine, along with time and the UV rays hitting the pool. So this is something to be aware of, that liquid chlorine, in my opinion, is a great supplemental chemical to go along with some stabilized chlorine that you have in the pool during the week, or if you have a roller chem or a liquid feeder, that's the best way to put liquid chlorine in the pool. And if you do commercial pools, you're going to be back there, of course, 3 or 4 times a week. So using liquid chlorine is perfectly acceptable because you're going to be there to redose the pool. You just couldn't do that in a residential backyard unless you're a homeowner using liquid chlorine. Then, of course, you can dose your pool every couple of days without really worrying about it. But for pool service, liquid chlorine and Cal Hypo are unstabilized, so they're not going to stay in the pool all week long. And according to Bob Lauer, you're going to lose about 1 part per million per day under ideal conditions. Other conditions will accelerate it, microalgae, higher bather loads. But if no one's using the pool and there's no algae present, you can figure that you're going to lose 1 part per million per day, and so you're going to need to redose that pool at some time. Back in the old days, we used to leave a case of liquid chlorine with our customers and tell them, if we're there on a Tuesday, we tell them pour a gallon in on Friday, and they would put a gallon in. But that's the old school way of doing it. Customers were more involved. There wasn't really much technology out there. There wasn't really any liquid feeders. There were some rudimentary feeders, I should say, back there for commercial applications, but nothing for residential. So the customer had to pour in a gallon of liquid chlorine sometime during the week, so the pool would last to the following week. And it wasn't really a big deal. It's just that the customer has to be involved in it. Pouring a gallon of liquid chlorine, you have splashing, and it's one of those things where you really don't want the customer to do that on a regular basis nowadays. And so using a combination of liquid chlorine and maybe trichlor tablets or hypo tablets during the week is a great way to supplement the liquid chlorine you're using in the pool. And the Pool Guy Podcast Show has teamed up with UPA to bring you affordable, reliable liability insurance starting at just $64 a month. Get up to $2 million in coverage, and the members of my coaching group get an even lower rate. Protect your business and your peace of mind. Sign up with UPA today by clicking the link in the podcast description. I would say that liquid chlorine, of course, is the best chemical to use in the pool when you're bringing up the chlorine level in the pool. I wouldn't recommend using dichlor, for example, because you're adding cyanuric acid to the water with dichlor. Although dichlor does serve a purpose, and I like using dichlor when I'm starting a new pool and I need to bring the chlorine level up and add cyanuric acid to the pool at the same time. Cal Hypo fits a similar category to liquid chlorine, but liquid chlorine I think is much faster acting, and it has a side effect or a byproduct that affects the pool less than Cal Hypo, which adds calcium to the water. Liquid chlorine, of course, will add sodium to the water, or salt, since it's called sodium hypochlorite as this parent name of the chemical, and it's going to be adding salt as a byproduct to the pool, which in my estimation of the total dissolved solids, or TDS, of the pool, salt is an element that has the least effect on the pool itself. And so I would add salt all day long over calcium or cyanuric acid from dichlor or trichlor. And if you have a saltwater pool on your route where the salt cell isn't working, non-functioning, the customer is not replacing it, and you check the salt or salinity level of the pool and you're at 3,200 parts per million, but the salt generator is not operating, you know that in most cases you can maintain that pool perfectly fine with liquid chlorine and trichlor tablets, and the salt in the water doesn't really have a detrimental effect on the water quality or your ability to maintain that pool. So that's why I'm saying that salt is probably the least impactful part of the total dissolved solids, in my opinion. So using liquid chlorine, you're adding a byproduct, yes, but it's not a byproduct that's doing a lot to the pool water. And plus you can do partial drains to lower down the TDS of the pool very easily using liquid chlorine. Now there is something to be said about the shelf life of liquid chlorine, and this is something why I mentioned why they can't really send it over to Hawaii, or it's not that popular there, because of the fact that it does have a lower timetable than, say, Cal Hypo, which probably has a good 2-year shelf life, maybe even more. I was at a pool one time and I found these old bags of Cal Hypo. They must have been 5 or 6 years old, or maybe even older, because I couldn't read the labels too well because they were already fading from the chemical in the bag, kind of eating through, and they were just big solid bricks at that point. The granulars had solidified into these bricks. And so I just, as a, just trying in the pool, I figured I would use it. So I dropped one in the pool and I tested the chlorine level, and sure enough, it still showed a pretty good chlorine level. And I would say they're at least 5 to 10 years old, the bag of Cal Hypo that I put in there. But liquid chlorine does not have that kind of shelf life. And it's one of those things where you're going to probably lose about 1% of the strength per month. And so if you have 12.5% liquid chlorine and you have it in your backyard for over a month, you're probably going to get down to about 11.5%. And then after 2 months, you're at 10.5%. And then you can degrade that all the way down. I don't know if there's like a certain half-life of liquid chlorine, but it does degrade over time, and you want to store it in a cool, dry place. And this is why it's not something that you could buy, a pallet of liquid chlorine and leave it in your backyard, because the strength does deteriorate over time, basically. And so you want to make sure you use liquid chlorine when it's fresh. And that's why the hostile returnables are great, because they bring them into the distributor right from the factory. And this is exactly why you can't have liquid chlorine in an area where you don't have the distribution or the production available, because of the shorter shelf life. If you go to Home Depot and buy some liquid chlorine off the shelf, it may have been sitting back there for 6 months. You don't know. I'm sure there's a date on the box somewhere. So you have to make sure you buy the professional grade liquid chlorine from a reputable supplier. Like in Florida, I know there's like 6 chlorine factories down there at different brands, and that's why the chlorine is really inexpensive. And they sell it by the 2.5-gallon jugs, which is kind of a weird thing for us California pool pros, because we just get the gallon of returnables, and the 2.5-gallon jugs are kind of foreign to us. But the price of liquid chlorine in Florida, of course, is much lower than everywhere else in the nation, because they have so many factories producing it, and it's easily available, and the strength is, of course, strong and kept up because of the close proximity to the distribution of liquid chlorine. And the same thing with Hosta. The reason why they haven't expanded past Texas is because you really need that distribution chain to keep that liquid chlorine fresh and viable for the pool pro. And this is something to consider when you're buying liquid chlorine, you want to buy it from a pool store that has fresh stock that's rotated so that you have the full potency of the chemical. Now, as far as strength, I think liquid chlorine, if you do it, it's hard to kind of do this because you're using a liquid measurement of a chemical versus a powder form of chemical. But if you listen to the Cal Hypo podcast, you know that liquid chlorine is stronger by content in the gallon form than Cal Hypo, a pound of Cal Hypo. So dollar for dollar, liquid chlorine is the stronger shock. It's fast acting, like I mentioned. You can pour it directly in the pool. It doesn't really have any real side effect except it raises the pH slightly for a little bit of time. But there's been a lot of studies saying that the pH will actually go back down to the normal level pretty rapidly. And you're adding sodium as a byproduct to the pool. So there really isn't too many cons about liquid chlorine except the fact that the shelf life is shorter than, say, Cal Hypo or dichlor if you're using those as your sanitizers along with a trichlor supplement in the pool, because the trichlor has a stabilizer and then liquid chlorine and Cal Hypo do not have any stabilizer in them. So to quickly recap, if you're using liquid chlorine, you're going to put about 8 parts per million of salt per 1 part million of chlorine added to the pool. And this, of course, will increase your TDS level in the pool. There's no chlorine product without a byproduct, so just keep that in mind. The negative is storage. Of course, it degrades over time. And the gallon of liquid chlorine can be a little heavy at 10 pounds roughly per gallon. So that's something to consider as well. And it's something that's not a big drawback, but it is a factor. It takes up a lot of room in the back of your truck as well. That's a factor as well versus a powder type chlorine. But all in all, liquid chlorine, of course, is fast acting, extremely strong and potent, and is something that is an industry standard. A lot of pool pros like liquid chlorine when they shock a pool over Cal Hypo for a number of factors that I mentioned here. And Cal Hypo, of course, is still very popular. And I would say that they're interchangeable chemicals to a point where liquid chlorine has a less effect on pool surface types. You can use it in a vinyl pool, in a fiberglass pool, without worrying about staining it. There's no chance of oxidizing the pool surface and causing a black stain. And it's great to kill algae. It's highly effective in killing algae. In fact, if you go to the Trouble-Free Pool forum, you'll see that they're not big on algicides or any kind of mineral technology. They promote borates and liquid chlorine because bleach, as you know, kills germs and bacteria. And if you have bleach in the pool, it's going to have the same effect. So it's great at killing algae. It's great at breaking combined chlorine. It's a great shock for a pool. It's great for green pool cleanups. There are so many great benefits of liquid chlorine that I have no problem promoting it and saying that it should be your primary sanitizer as far as shocking and adding the chlorine and bringing the chlorine level up. And if you do have a chlorine feeder, liquid chlorine feeder, it's great, of course. But if you don't, using it in conjunction with trichlor tablets is an excellent combination. The trichlor tablets, you're adding cyanuric acid to the water, and the liquid chlorine is not. So it's a great way to do the combo approach where you're using liquid chlorine as your primary sanitizer every week, but you're using some trichlor tablets to kind of let a small amount of chlorine out into the pool during that week. And to me, it's a great combination because the byproduct is sodium and it's not adding anything like calcium or cyanuric acid to the water. And it's a great way to use trichlor tablets safely and minimize the cyanuric acid rise in the pool by using trichlor. If you just use trichlor tablets exclusively in the pool, the cyanuric acid level is going to rise rapidly to a level that's pretty much unsustainable for pool care. Whereas if you have liquid chlorine and you're supplementing the trichlor tablets with it, it's to me a perfect combination and a perfect use for liquid chlorine in a pool. And if you're looking for other podcasts, of course, you can find those on my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, on the podcast icon. Click on that, and there'll be a drop-down menu of over 1,800 podcasts for you there. And if you're interested in the coaching program that I offer, you can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. This episode is brought to you by HASA, providing products that deliver clean, healthy water for every aspect of everyday life. The bottom feeder battery-powered vacuum system, portable, powerful, and only weighs 12 pounds. And Skimmer. Get Skimmer, America's #1 pool service software. Podcast listeners can try Skimmer for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.